It was Joy Page who said, "Dream and give yourself permission to envision a you that you choose to be." And that, my friends, is what January is going to be about in the Solo Grind. Welcome to the Solo Grind, where we shine a light on the raw and real journey of being a solo entrepreneur. I am Teresa, your guide on this adventure of going it alone, without a safety net and without the rule book. The grind is real, my friend, and so are the wins, the freedom, and the joy of building success on your own terms. I'm here to debunk the myths, share some laughs, and share what it takes to thrive as a go-getter, busy, doing it all entrepreneur. Welcome to season 2 of the Solo Grind, my friends. I am so excited to have you here with me. It is a new year, it is a new season, and I am all kinds of full of optimism and ready for 2025. And this month, I am going to be focusing on creating the 2025 of my dreams, and I hope that you are going to join me. So, before we dive into that and I tell you more of what's coming on, I'm going to pause for a moment and talk a little bit about myself. For those of you who have been here with me in season 1, welcome back. I am so excited that you are here. And for those of you joining me for the very first time, welcome. I am so excited you're here as well. I am Teresa Schloop. I'm a podcaster, a brand strategist, a web designer, and digital marketer, and the original caffeine creative. And my whole focus in life is helping others shine online. I love what I do, and I love helping others do what they love to do. So if you'd love to reach out to connect with me, that's a lot of love. We're a little bit early on that. But if you would like to reach out and connect with me this season, you can text me. Simply look for the text me link in the show notes below, or scroll just a little bit and find all of my other ways of contact, from email to hopping on my calendar for a 30-minute consultation. All right, so now that you know who I am, let's talk a little bit about season 2 of the Solo Grind. So, just a little recap from season 1. I honestly didn't know if there would be a season 2. I wanted to give it a try. I have been dreaming of podcasting since way back in 2018. And in 2019, I had a great big old curveball through my way in the form of a pesky little cancer diagnosis, and decided to put things on hold. But as fate would have it, this past summer in 2024, podcasting was finally here, and it was time to dive in and to do something new. And I discovered very quickly into season 1 that I loved it. And while I didn't announce things right off the bat, I knew pretty early on that there was probably going to be a season 2. And I have got an incredible season 2 planned for you. So I'm not going to go too far into depth at what I am planning, but there is a lot of good things coming your way. And I think I've got about 15 episodes planned for this season. So let's talk a little bit about what to expect in January. January is all about creating vision. I am a firm believer that we create the life that we live, and we do so intentionally. Now, I know not everybody believes that. Some believe that life happens to us, and that certainly is a choice we can make. We can allow life to happen to us. We can sit back and wait for things to happen and react when they do, or we can turn our focus, our intention, and even set goals to creating the life that we want. Not everything works out perfectly. As I said, 5, 6 years ago, I had big dreams of doing a podcast way back then, and it didn't work. But I never lost sight of what I wanted to create in the world and what I wanted to put out there. And eventually, that dream came true because it was meant to. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about in January. We're going to be talking about creating the vision of what we want our life to be. We are also going to be looking at some really big goals. I'm talking the goals that kind of scare us a little bit and have us wanting to hide under the blankets, but yet we can't let go of wanting to achieve them. And we're going to be talking about how to deal with creating that vision, creating that life, following our intention when curveballs come our way. All of this is coming to you in January for the solo grind. All right, so now that I have rambled on for about 5 minutes or so, I say let's dive into today's topic because this is a great big one for me. And it is something that I honestly have been doing for longer than I can remember. And that is creating the vision of the life that I want to have. So, first of all, I just want to say that we all have a vision, whether we admit to it or not. We all have a vision. Some of us have learned to suppress that vision, to ignore it, and have believed that it's selfish to have that. In fact, over the holidays, I had a conversation with somebody whose husband had asked them if they were happy at the way that their life turned out. And they didn't know how to answer that question. Now, this person is older in age, they're definitely well into retirement. And they're living a really good life, I would say, at this time. I mean, they seem to be enjoying life. But when they were asked if they liked how their life turned out, they didn't know how to answer. And when I asked, why is that? Why does that question confuse you? Her answer was simply that she never had any expectations in life. She just believed that she had to be grateful for whatever life handed her and that she had no power over determining what that was. And it made me a little bit sad, honestly, because I have a very different view of life. I really do believe that we create the life that we want. We do so by the people we interact with, the activities we participate in, the music we listen to, the TV we watch, the conversations we have, the books we read. Like every decision in our lives, from the food that we put on our plates at breakfast time to the moment we lay our head down at bed, we or to sleep, we are making decisions about the kind of life that we want to have. And it saddens me that there are people in the world who don't believe they have a choice. So I want to say right now, right here, you, my friend, you have a choice. You get to decide what you have and what you want in this world. And you get to create the vision of your life. And I really do believe that we all have that personal vision, and that personal vision is something that is needed in the world. Every single one of us have something to offer that makes our corner of the world a better place. And the world needs that. It doesn't matter if your vision is to be silly and funny and make people laugh, or to make really good coffee beans. Maybe your vision is to create a safe space for people who have been abused, or to make beautiful clothing, or design beautiful homes. It doesn't matter what your vision is. It is not silly. It is not selfish. It is not unimportant. It is necessary in this world. And I want you to make a choice this month to create the vision of what you want your world to be and what you want to put out into that world. So, to go along with this vision, before I forget, and I'll try and remember to mention it, be sure you scroll down into the show notes. I actually have a goals and intentions workbook that I'm going to share with you guys for free. You don't have to give me your email address. You don't have to, I don't even have to know you downloaded it. It is yours. It is my gift to you to start the new year. And it is one that I used to use once upon a time in my life coaching days. And honestly, it's still a pretty good workbook. My best friend Crystal and I went through it. She helped me polish it up and update it, the look and feel of it. And we went through it at the end of 2024 ourselves, and we're like, wow, this still works. This still is good stuff. And so I want to share it with each and every one of you. And it's kind of this workbook that I'm going to be going through throughout the episodes here in January. And so be sure to download that. All right. So, if you already know what your vision is, if you already know what you want to bring into the world and focus on in the year ahead, download my workbook or grab your own journal and I want you to write about it. Journal out what you want to create in this world and get really specific and clear. Have fun with it. Make it a process, make it a party, make it something incredible. And honestly, if that is you, you can probably just go ahead and end this episode and come back next week or whenever you're ready to join us again. My guess, however, is that a lot of you out there listening are like, I don't know. I have way too many ideas of what I want to accomplish, or my head is a great big old vacuum and I have nothing in there and I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know what I want to create. That's the two forms or paths that I typically find people on. Okay. So again, either you have so many ideas you don't know what to focus on, or you have no ideas and you don't know what to focus on. So I'm going to ask you some questions. And again, this is where you're going to want to utilize this journal that I'm sharing with everybody, or just doing this in your own journal. I'll list these questions in the show notes. But spend some time, preferably some time on your own where you're not going to be interrupted, when you're in a really comfortable place and you've got a comforting beverage, maybe a cup of coffee or some tea or something like that. I want you to think about these questions. So the first one is, what do you most desire to do with your life? And to answer this, I want you to think about, what is the one thing that you would do for free if you could do anything and money was not at all a concern? All right, so to give you an example of this, I personally, the one thing that I love to do is to inspire others to stand tall and be the best versions of themselves. And I've done this in various ways throughout my life. Even when I was a grocery store clerk in high school, I remember the people that sometimes would come in, the moms, they would come in and they would be flustered and they would be stressed and they would be sad and miserable and cranky and all of the things that moms with active kids and social lives and everything are. I would make it a point to try and make them smile, to make them feel good, to make them be seen and heard and recognized for what they were doing. And I was just a girl grocery shopping. It was weird, but my manager actually told me one time that there was multiple customers that came to our grocery store specifically for me, even though it was the most expensive store in town. And I didn't think much about it at the time. When I was a teenager, I remember thinking, well, that's weird, but okay, sweet. Um, but it was because I made a point to see people, to hear them, and to encourage them to stand tall in the person that they are and to see themselves for who they are. So that's what I would do for free. If I were to win the Mega Millions right now, I would continue finding ways to do that throughout my life and never charge a dime. So, what is your one thing that you would do for free forever if money were no object? Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, this is a business podcast. I'm supposed to be thinking about my career. Teresa, I'm an interior designer. I'm a professional organizer. I'm a life coach. That's what I'm supposed to be talking about. But this is so much deeper than that. Those are tools that allow you to accomplish what that greatest desire is. For me, like I said, I did this when I was working at a grocery store. I did this when I was in the Navy working with other sailors and things like that. I did this as a team leader and you know, in the corporate world when I had a team to manage. I did this as a life coach. In fact, this is why I thought I wanted to pursue life coaching, but I realized that I didn't need to be a life coach to fulfill this deep desire that I have to help people be seen, heard, and validated for the amazing people that they are. I do this now as a brand strategist and digital marketer, as a web designer. This is one of the things that I do. So I want you to think deeper than your job. I want you to think about, what is it that gives you that absolute joy and satisfaction in the work that you do? And think back to jobs you've had before because I guarantee you're going to see a parallel. All right. So that's question number one. Question number two, why? Why would you do this for free? And again, I've kind of talked a little bit about this here in my ramblings in the last few minutes, but what excites you the most about this desire? And for me, I love it when somebody sees like shines and sees how amazing they are because I really do believe that every single one of us has something amazing to put into this world. And sadly, from a very early age, that is squashed out of us because we are being silly or selfish or whatever somebody decides to deem on us, some kind of guilt trip that we've ingrained in our brains. But I really do believe that we have something amazing. And so when somebody finds that amazing within themselves, like, there is nothing better in the world for me than to witness that moment. That to me is witnessing a miracle, and I love it. All right. So, question number two. Why is that so important to you? Why is this moment, this desire that you have, why is it so important to you? Again, as I said, I see the potential for greatness in every single person that I meet. And far too many of us don't know that we have it. So that's why it's important to me. I remember a time in my life when people tried to squash this out of me or tried to make me less than I was. In fact, I actually had a boss one time who, in my performance review, told me that I needed to be less than I was because I made everyone around me uncomfortable by striving to work so hard and to do such a good job, and I needed to do less of a job. Like, I don't even know, that doesn't even compute in my mind. Be less so the people around you are comfortable. And I think why that has stuck with me, because that was like 20 years ago, why that has stuck with me is because I think that is the mentality of our world. Be less so others feel more comfortable around you. And I say, screw that, honestly. So, excuse me for being so blunt and direct, but no, we should all be the best that we can. And that is why this vision is important to me. Okay. And then finally, the last question, and this is kind of a multi-parter, is how can you make this happen? What are the things that you could do, big or small, that would make this desire a reality? And don't forget to include all the things that you're already doing to support that vision. So for me, I want people to be seen and heard and validated, and I want them to shine in the world. And I do this as a brand strategist. When I am working with somebody to develop their brand and find their branding colors and their logo and their fonts, it's so much more than just a pretty color palette and a unique font combination. It's about finding something that they feel deep within themselves fits. Like they're like, oh, yes, oh my God, you've seen me. This feels like I'm putting on my favorite set of sweatpants or favorite sweatshirt and snuggling in for a night by the fire with a good book. Feels so perfectly to me that you've nailed it. That's what I strive for, is to find something that helps fit. Okay. So that's one thing that I'm already doing that achieves that desire for people to be seen and heard and shine when it comes to themselves online or their world, period. In the website, the way that we design it, the way that we create the connection with customers, the journey of the website, all of that is part of this process that I do to help people be seen and heard and shine in all of their glory. So those are things that I'm already doing, and those are things that I've been doing for quite a while. All right. And that honestly is all that I'm going to assign to you this week. We're going to give you homework this month in the solo grind. And of course, you don't have to do it, but I encourage you to think about it and to give it a whirl and even just block off 20 minutes and see if it feels good to you. Because like I said earlier in the episode, this is something that I've been doing for a long time. This is how I plan my new year ahead. And I use this process, and I've used this process. I've taught this process in training as a life coach. I've shared it in my mastermind group. In fact, I just shared it last week with a group of women, and I'll continue to do so. And I do this because one simple reason. I want to ensure that my goals and intentions moving into the new year are 100% aligned with the person that I want to become. I don't want to just check things off a list and brag about my accomplishments. Okay. I've done that. I've been that person. And if you go back to one of the episodes in season one, let's see, it was episode 12 of season one. Stop trying to fit in and build a business that feels like you. If you go back, you will hear my story about when I was trying to check off a bunch of accomplishments, and I was trying to show off for the world around me. And I was trying to say, look at me, I'm so amazing. I accomplished A, B, C, D, and E. And it was not a fun journey, and I did not enjoy where I was being. And I had goals that were not in alignment with who I want to become. These goals were all about who I thought I was supposed to be for the people around me, and not at all about who I want to be. So go back, check out that it was the December 3rd episode of season one. If you want to know what it's like to just check boxes for the sake of checking boxes. But really, what is a better choice or a better time spent is to focus on who is the person that I want to become? Who do I want to be? And what goals and intentions can I create that align 100% with that? I promise you, my friends, when you do that, when you set your goals and intentions to be in alignment with who you want to be, you are going to be able to do more with your life. You're going to be able to give more and to be more. You're going to make your corner of the world a much better place than you ever imagined. And what is really amazing about this journey is that you are going to fall in love with the person that you are becoming. All right. So, cheers to a brand new year ahead, to creating a future with purpose. And I look forward to seeing you all next week in episode 2 of season 2, where we're going to be talking about clarifying our vision and creating those dream big goals that are going to be a little bit scary, but also going to be something that I promise you can and will accomplish when you have the right mindset in place. Have a great week ahead, and I cannot wait to connect with you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Solo Grind. I hope this episode brought you some inspiration and encouragement. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, and feel free to share. For more tips and insights, visit caffeinecreative.io to check out my blog or explore the Creative Vault, my free course library. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to hear how this episode has helped you.